Happy Monday, everybody. Let's take a look at stocks that are in buy zone. And you can see this my indicator. Those who are following me, they know red lines are the sell lines, green lines are the buy lines. In the middle, we do nothing. So let's quickly look at the stocks for CP Rail. You can see this morning dropped right at the open. It dropped from yesterday's close or last Friday's close almost 4%. Okay, and this came in the buy zone. This is one of the largest Canadian rail provider, and this is in the buy zone, right? So what we do, we buy it. So I bought today's CP rail. If I go to 1 hour chart, I want to show you something. If I hide this line, you can see we had a gap down, all right? So this was a gap down. If I convert to regular trading session, you can see easily a gap down. So a gap is left. If I go to daily chart, you can see here gap is here. All these yellow lines are gaps to the fill to the top side, and eventually we go there. And if you can hold for a few weeks to few months, our target first gap fill is around 3.5%. Second gap fill is around 9, almost 10%. Third gap is around 12%, and fourth gap is around 16%. All these gaps will be filled. Now there is no gap other than that at the bottom, all right? So we can consolidate here a bit. And if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see what's happening. We are building, still not building divergence yet. But if I go to 30 minutes chart, you can still no divergence. So we could see, but if you look at Canadian stock, which is TSX, this one, there is divergence here. You can see new lows with divergence. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see we made a new low, but there is divergence. If I go to daily chart, you can see easily, okay, this is a new low made, and with the divergence. What divergence means? Divergence means if I go to arrow here, price is going lower on higher momentum on RSI. RSI is making higher high, price is making lower high. So anyhow, this is something which I have on my radar, and my first take profit is gonna be here, 72.14. Again, let's bring back extended trading hours. So this is my first target, okay? And that's where I will be looking to sell. So CP Real, very nice. And Bitcoin, you can see here, it was in the buy zone for since around 5:30 a.m. till around 11, and even till here around 4. So all day Bitcoin was in the buy zone, and now it's bouncing. All right. So even if you bought anywhere in the touch of first green line, it's bouncing. So even from the first buy line, it's up 1%. Even if you bought, let's say, even if you bought here when it was just touching first green line, and you can hold it, and you can see easily we're above on that, okay? And the lower we go, this zone between second and third line, bottom last two line, it's a no-brainer buy, all right? So as soon as whenever you see any stock falling between second and third zone in green lines, that you have to buy it, all right? So if you bought between here, easy profits, 1.5%, and it's true for almost every time. Let's look at Nasdaq, for example, all right? You can see Nasdaq was here in the buy zone around 10 p.m. Sunday night. Futures opened there and it bounced. You can see futures from the buy zone to the sell zone almost 9.94%. So it's bouncing all the time. Natural gas, for example, you can see came in the buy zone and then bouncing. So it's easy trades. And you can see from here buy zone to here around almost 4% buy here. Even Ethereum, same thing. You can see buy zone, touch and bounce. So even from third standard deviation to bounce, almost 2% profits. All right. And let's look at what else is in the buy zone. And you can see wheat. Wheat now came to third standard deviation. It's a no-brainer buy here. So you have to buy, and I'm looking for this to bounce. Corn came to also between second and third standard deviation. This is also a no-brainer buy. And what else is here? Let's look at any other stocks. NVDA. NVDA, you can see from last couple of days, touch multiple times buy zone, and now it's bouncing. So every time, anytime you bought, okay, even here, let's say here you bought, it bounced almost 3.5%. Okay, here you bought, you bounce almost 3.19%, and even today you bought here pre-market, bounce almost 2.3%. Easy profits here. And what else is here? Let's see, let's scan through other stocks and see if we can find anything. Let me show you Walmart, for example, right? After earnings, let me see where did it go. Walmart must be here very soon. Let me find it for you. Here you go, Walmart. All right. You can see earnings dropped right into the buy zone. As soon as earnings happened, it dropped here. Let me go a bit here. You can see massive drop in the buy zone, all right, after earnings. And you can see it was in the buy zone for so long. And today it bounced from the buy zone to the sell zone. So you can see from here, easy Walmart profits 2.25%. Cisco is also same thing, was in the buy zone. If you bought it in the buy zone, it's massively 2.2%, 2% profits here. And let's see what else is in the buy zone. Let me show you Hang Seng Index China. You can see China was in the buy zone today around 10 p.m. last night, and it bounced, massive bounce, 1.24%. And let me show you what other stock, Pfizer. Let's see, Pfizer is still not in the buy zone. I think there's another railway, CNI. This is also in the buy zone. You can see this is another railway competitor of CP Rail, Canadian National Railway. This is also American stock. Bounce is gonna come soon. You can see from here 2.87%. This is a gap fill, looking for that is my target. Let's see CNQ, biggest Canadian natural gas provider, same as like biggest American XOM. This is oil miners, not natural gas, crude oil miners, CNQ in the buy zone. There's a gap here. All right, almost 3% profits are due. XOM, nothing here. So anyhow, and let's see Enbridge, also in the middle, nothing here. So anyhow, these are some of the stocks which you should be looking to buy. Let's look at banks. Royal Bank is also not there. BMO is also not there. Let's look at American banks, nothing here. So I don't see anything else interesting, but other than these stocks, let's quickly look at Tesla. So Tesla, you can see touched the buy zone, just touched the buy zone this morning. You can see drop here around 9%, 9:46 a.m. and bounce. All right. And you can see Tesla was in the buy zone from last couple of days. This is the area you need to buy. Easy trade, guys. Easy trades here, all right? You buy in the buy zone and it bounce. Anyhow, so now you know which stocks are in the buy zone. And let's quickly do our daily analysis. So let's get rid of this indicator. Let's go to daily chart and let's try to bring our moving averages. All right. So, okay. So let's go to cash index, which is SPY. And you can see here SPY. If I go to 1 hour chart and if I hide extended hours, you can see what's happening. We are making new highs on divergence. You can see higher high, RSI is making lower high, all right, and we also have red sell signal. So it's a bearish indication, and you can see here there is now still a gap here to fill around 453, and then there's another massive gap here for 40. My preference is this to go down, fill this gap, and then bounce, all right. Nothing changed, and that's what I'm looking for. Triple Qs, Nasdaq, new highs, okay, new highs, and you can see if I go to 1 hour chart, there was a gap here which is filled. Now there's another gap here, and also same thing, price is making higher highs, RSI is making lower high, and also we got a sell signal here. Again, my preference is for this to fill this gap and then bounce. That's it, nothing else changed. So Nasdaq, and if this Nasdaq drops, all stocks gonna be dropping because all stocks have gap. You can see Tesla have a gap around 224, and then you can see same thing. Every tech stock, Apple have a gap around 185, Netflix they have a gap around here around 450, Microsoft they have a gap around 356, Google have a gap around 133.89, Meta, Facebook, and they don't have any gap, but there's a big support here around, let's say around 322. Amazon also, there's a gap here, slight gap here, and it could go a little bit lower. Snowflakes just flat. Earnings are coming very soon. If earnings are good, it's going to bounce. If earnings are not good, it's going to fill this gap here. All right. So we don't know which way it's going to go yet. NVDA also, you can see multiple gaps here. So it's, although it's green, but still there are many gaps to the downside. So you got to be careful. AMD also multiple gaps to the downside. So we got to be careful. Next couple of weeks, they could go down. Stocks could go down and fill some of these gaps. All right, so let's quickly look at other stocks. Oh, another thing, soybeans is also in the buy zone. Just wanted to mention, you can see here, this is SOYB is the ETF. If you're interested, keep an eye on that. All right, so let's go to gold. nothing changed. Gold is making new high. Now a little bit of divergence on gold, so that's something which is bothering me. You can see price is making new high and RSI is making lower high. So gold, but if gold keeps going higher, then this divergence will be erased. All right, so just be mindful of that. Do not be too bearish because gold did a perfect backtest. You can see it broke out of this range here around 1950, broke out, backtest, now just going high. So I think the target could be for gold. If you take a distance from here to here, you can just move this. All right, so you can just move this distance from here to here. The target of this could be around here, around let's say this is around 2133. All right, so just don't be too bearish on gold. All right, so silver, same thing above this trend line, this white trend line. And there were two trend lines, so I'm going to delete this now since silver is above this. So there's this trend line, okay, and silver is bouncing, and now just going towards new high, nothing changed. Crude oil coming to support, lower highs, lower lows. Support is around $72, so looking for that support to hold. If that support breaks, then the next support is around $65. Natural gas, a little bit bearish. This trend line, you can see it broke below, but it's back on the support line. So it really needs to go above this trend line. If it does not go, then it's going to go back down here. Okay, so we got to be careful here. Dollar in the buy, basically in the buy zone. If dollar is in the buy zone, if it holds here and it bounces, that's going to be bearish for gold, Bitcoin, and stock. But if dollar breaks down from here, next support is around 101. Bitcoin, we got to be careful. You can see price is making new highs with divergence on, you can see here on RSI, 1 hour chart. You can see nicely new highs with lower momentum. Let's go to futures and see if there's any gap which I did not analyze before this show. So let's hide this indicator. Let's see if there's any gap. Okay, so there is a gap. So actually there are two gaps here. So let's mark these. So there is a gap here. We're going to mark it as yellow around 38,000, and there is a gap here around, let's see, around 37. So both gaps will be filled. I just don't know when. Ethereum, also there is a gap down. So it gapped down, futures around here. So we're going to mark it as yellow. And this another gap here, which is around here. So we're going to mark it as green. All right. So now we are done with that. So let's go to Bitcoin daily chart, and you can see there's a gap down and there's another gap here and also a gap here. So I prefer this to fill this gap at the bottom here before it goes higher. There's another gap around 29. So be careful on Bitcoin. I do have a sell signal 14th of November. Nothing here is bullish. And if let's try to add another indicator, PPO on Bitcoin. And you can see if I add PPO, you can see green line is below red line. So all indicators are showing it's a bearish pressure on Bitcoin. Ethereum, same thing. Green line is below red line, which is not a good signal. And also there's divergence. You can see price making new high and RSI and PPO is making lower high. So be very careful. Nothing is bullish about even the live market. I think it makes sense. You can see Bitcoin, if I zoom out, broke out. It makes sense to backtest this range around 30,600 before it can go higher. Ethereum, same thing. Makes sense to backtest this range before it goes higher. All right. Okay, so that's done. Let's quickly look at Toronto Stock Exchange. Looking for this gap fill before it can go higher. Nothing changed. Hang Seng Index, China, looking for this support to hold. Coming down, it can still come down a little bit lower from here. Come down around 0.63 before it can go higher. Copper, nothing changed by the dip. Palladium, also in the support range, nothing changed here. So, but you have to be careful on Palladium. This resistance here around 1140, I want this to break before you can get bullish. Wheat, one of the subscribers told me to do a better analysis. So let's go to weekly chart and let's see how wheat is doing. Actually, let's go to futures. I think it's ZW. Futures of wheat. Yeah, okay, so that has more data. You can see wheat where it is right now. You can see on a weekly chart, if I draw a box here on wheat, you can see here this whole area. You can see massive support. You can see here wheat futures, massive support, and this is where you want to buy. All right. You can see wheat, it went higher and a massive bull run from here around 2020, from 2020 to here around 140% bull run. All right. And now it's just consolidating, and you can see what's happening here? Price is making new lows, but there is divergence on. You can see RSI, there is divergence, all right, and PPO also has a divergence on a weekly chart on wheat, all right. Divergence on PPO and RSI, it's just a consolidation. It's just testing the traders, and I don't think there's anything to worry about. These are because there are higher momentum on RSI and PPO, and it's on a massive. You can see I can extend this support. You can see wheat futures. I can go till uh, 2007. You can see how nicely broke out, went back below, came back test, broke down, again came below, and now it's just back testing it. Okay, so massive support. So nothing to worry, in my opinion. These are the levels you should be looking to accumulate, and you can see there is divergence. Price is making new lows, and even on daily chart, RSI is going higher, PPO is going higher. So in my opinion, everything is looking good for wheat. It's just testing patience, so just be patient um, and then just keep accumulating. This is a bottom forming pattern. It could take a while, but eventually we're going to have a massive bull run around the corner, right? Okay, so hopefully that helped you guys. Okay, corn is breaking down. That's not good news. So let's go to weekly chart on corn. So maybe we have to do same thing on corn as well. Let's look at corn futures. Let's see corn futures here. So let me delete this and we can try to do this analysis with this. So again, if we draw a box here, let me zoom out. So corn, I don't have a lot of data, but again, like wheat, nicely on the support. All right. So this is also bottom farming pattern. I'll be looking to buy here. Okay. Especially this divergence on RSI, and you can see here price is making new lows. RSI is going higher, and PPO is also going higher. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. You can see RSI is going higher, and you can see even PPO is going higher. So same thing, divergence. It's like wheat. This could be a stop rate. So be careful not getting exits here. This is the time you want to buy, not to sell. Sugar, looking for a back test of this trend line. Nothing changed. Let's quickly look at, we looked at tech stocks, and let's look at gold miners. And biggest gold miner, Newmont Mine, going higher, but looking for a gap down or a gap fill before there's a dividend day around Wednesday. So if you want dividend, you should be buying tomorrow to get this dividend. Gold miners, GDX, again higher because of gold, but there could be a back test coming soon, so be mindful of that. Let's quickly look at sectors. XLK looking for this gap fill. XLE, energy sector, looking for, I think this is a consolidation, bottom forming range. This should be looking to buy here. XLV, healthcare, looking for the back test. It could even go backfill, it could even go back test this line. So look to buy there. XLU, utility sector, again, looking for, there are gaps here, multiple gaps here, and also massive support here. So let me delete this actually. So looking for this gap fill before it can go higher. So that's quite possible. Industrial sector, same thing, looking for gap fill before it can go higher. Real estate sector, same thing here. Let me delete this, looking for these couple of these gaps to fill before it can go higher too much. And financials, same thing. It's actually, I might have to draw another trend line, but for now, let's just keep doing this. Backtest is broke out, and is it going to come back to fill this gap all the way? Let's see. KRE Regional Bank ETF, again looking for this gap fill before it can go higher. Shopify was up massively, again gap up, but just remember how many gaps are here on Shopify. One, two, massive gap, three gaps. So just be a bit careful before getting too bullish here. All right, guys, hopefully this was very helpful. And if you like the content, please hit the like button, share with your friends and family. And if you want to join there's a Discord channel link in the description of this video. And you can chat with me directly there. And I do post pre-market videos with these levels, which I shared with you in the morning. I mean, at the early stages of this video. And I do share levels in the private group. So if you want to join my YouTube channel. There's a link in the description. And that's it. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.